Record breakers, Werewolf by Night, comic book boners, let's get into it. Another week, another list, gem from Gem Mint Collectibles on the line, broadcasting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth.
Here to broadcast the 10 runners-up, the honorable mentions that didn't have quite enough sales to make our Hot 10 list, so they live right here.
Subscribe, like the video. We need your support. And at the list at number 10, Werewolf by Night number 35, debuting in 1975, high-grade copy of a classic cover done by Jim Starlin. Look at this beautiful Man-Thing print that I have on the set. I am so stoked about what I just saw. The trailer for the Werewolf by Night special is outstanding.
Yeah, I love it when the MCU tries different things. They did it with WandaVision, and now we're doing this Sam Raimi kind of classic horror for Werewolf by Night. I'm here for it. And the CGC 9.4 is here for it as well, because it sold for $150 just last May, and it's up 81%, now selling for $272.
Bronze Age horror was underestimated. We reminded the community about the inevitable introduction of the supernatural, the occult. There are only 46 copies of this book graded on the CGC census. There are 10 at 9.4, and there are 2 at 9.8. Next at the list, at number 9, is Incredible Hulk number 168.
The first appearance of Harpy, Betty Ross, Bruce Banner's love interest, who becomes an irradiated Hulk monster, which would later become popularized in the Immortal Hulk run by Al Ewing.
Al Ewing totally goldballing it, digging in the well because it was very short-lived. Betty Ross becoming this avian monstrosity was only a couple of issues caused by MODOK. And whether it be MODOK spec, whether it be Hulk spec, or what Al Ewing would do in Immortal Hulk issue 16 from 2019, this book just broke records in a 9.4.
Just last year, it sold for $169. It's up now 99%, selling for $336.
We checked the census, and there are only a lonely 7 copies graded at a 9.8. And these 10 books are sourced from a much larger list of over 20 that you gotta know over on Key Collector Comics, the best comic app in existence. Support the show and utilize code TOM101 for a free 2-week subscription. Better your hunt, get suggested pricing, not just on Key Comics, but your collection in its entirety. And next at the list at number 8, call it spec coming full circle. We got Man-Thing in the Werewolf by Night trailer. I expect that we're going to eventually see some type of update on Captain Britain. Coming in at number 8, Captain Britain number 1, debuting in 1976.
It's been rumored that Henry Cavill will join the MCU in some way, shape, or form, and a lot of fans are championing for him to portray Captain Britain. This CGC 7.5 sold for $350 just last year, and now it's up 49%, selling for $520.
Although the 7.5 just broke records because the rumors have ramped up again, these are old rumors, old spec, and the higher graded copies you have to keep an eye out on because they are selling for some of the lowest amounts we've seen all year long.
Yeah, the CGC 9.4 sold for just $618 on September 1st, a new low for the year, just like the 9.6, which sold for $713.
The 9.8 sold for the lowest all year as well for $1,736 just this past week. Next at the list, at number 7, Detective Comics 259, one of the more affordable old villain appearances. We have the first appearance of the Calendar Man, possibly the worst tattoo in comics.
I like that creepy take on Calendar Man during Batman The Long Halloween, and the character was already portrayed in live action by Sean Gunn in Suicide Squad, so this is probably just collectors securing their Batman rogues. A CGC 3.5 sold for $230 back in 2021. It's up 96%, now selling for $450.
The 5.5 sold for $492 back in June, up 179% this week with a new sale of $1,375. The highest graded copy of this book is in a 9.4, and it's last sold back in 2020 for $10,000. This right here is one of the most affordable old Batman villains rogues keys. At the list at number 6, a very low print, tough to find in any grade, Bone number 4, debuting in 1992.
Boom, 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 boom. This is the first time that we've had issue 4 on the list. We've had issue 1 a number of times, and this is hitting the list even though we are no longer getting that Netflix adaptation.
Extremely disappointing is the quote, but we do have an early bone issue, a 9.8 that last sold for $395 in 2019, up 90%, selling for $750 this week. That's an increase of over $350.
And speaking of early bone issues, let's take a look at issues 1 through 3 in a 9.8. Issue 3 sold for $900 back in 2020. Issue 2 sold for $773 back in 2018, so you know price correction is coming. And issue 1 in a 9.8 sold for $13,200 2 years ago.
Looking at number 5 on the list, we have Uncanny X-Men number 66. This is the final appearance of the original X-Men before their title was relaunched with Giant Size X-Men number 1 and the new team with Chris Claremont taking over at issue 94. This gap from issue 66 to 94 was filled with reprints because X-Men wasn't selling.
Yeah, so crazy to think that Silver Age X-Men were unpopular, and then in the 90s, they were the biggest thing ever. A CGC 9.0 sold for $350 back in 2021. It's up 106%, now selling for $720.
Just about 2 years after this issue in Amazing Adventures number 12, we would see an explanation that the X-Men would go into hiding throughout this duration, resulting from the battle between the Hulk they had in Las Vegas, which happens in Uncanny X-Men number 66. We've seen a lot of these types of keys spike, but this one right here is a bit special because it's not one that gets talked about a whole lot. We give so much credence and value to the new issues, but what about the prior issue before everything changed? And we were seeing that take place with early Hulk single-digit issues and Captain America and the like.
Which brings us to the boners. Number 4 on the list, we have Batman 66, a Golden Age book from 1951, and it's really a meme-worthy book.
Coming out in 1951, a classic Joker cover. However, a narrative about the Joker as well as times in history that individuals made a mistake. And that is why the word boner is used all throughout this story. So I pulled some fun quotes to kind of teach a valuable lesson of boners in history.
On page 1, we have the Joker's collection of the greatest boners in history.
Page 2, a classic meme, a quote by the Joker. So they laugh at my boner, will they? Well, I'll show them. I'll show them how many boners Joker can make.
On that very same page, the emphasis on boners has given me the idea for a new adventure in crime. Gotham City will rue the day it mentioned the word boner.
I will take the great boners of all time and turn them into crimes. It shows a big boner of modern vintage.
And it goes on and on from there with that dated dialogue. Maybe it's the reason it hit the list, but a CGC 4.5 did break record. It sold for $1,020 back in 2021. It's up 76%, now selling for $1,800.
ComicTime101.com to join the mystery mail call. The October box is in active enrollment, and we have made the anniversary variant of Something is Killing the Children, issue 25, cover art done by one of my favorite artists of all time, David Mack. Cutter on more than one variant, going out one per box at random. Join the mystery mail call, support the show, and Jem, hit him with some more Golden Age brilliance at number 3.
Yeah, but this time we're talking about Superboy issue 10 from 1950. It's the first appearance of one of Clark Kent's love interests, Lana Lang.
Who all watched Smallville? I got to know in the chat. I love that show. I've watched it more than once. I'm actually planning on going through the whole series again. There's a really cool Booster Gold episode. I digress. It'll enter you to win this Omni-Man cover of Invincible #1 done by Tyler Kirkham. We have a very scarce early Superboy issue breaking records this week. A 6.5 came to market, selling for $960 back in 2021, up 338%. Now selling for an all-new high of $4,200. Hot damn.
Those are some major gains. Almost seems too good to be true, but looking at some surrounding sales, it kind of makes sense. I mean, we have a 5.5 that sold for $600 in June, so not really adding up there. Then we have a 4.5, which sold for $520 in February, still not making this sale make sense. But in January, a CGC 8.0 did sell for $3,000.
Superboy 10 doesn't come up that often, but you're right. These prices are all over the place, but it's a scarce book. I digress, because at the list at number 2, I have another sale that doesn't seem right. Incredible Hulk, issue number 1. We have the first appearance of the Hulk, Bruce Banner, debuting in 1962, and we have a 0.5 incomplete copy breaking records.
Yeah, not only is it the first appearance of the Hulk and the first issue, it's also the first appearance of Betty Ross, her father, Thunderbolt Ross, and Rick Jones. Now, a CGC 0.5 sold for $6,000 back in March, incomplete copy as well. It's up 50% with this new sale, selling for $9,000.
Not only did Key Collector verify the sale, we were able to get pictures of the label, and it looks like panels were missing from pages 2, 3, and 5. That is a strong increase of 50%. However, I want to show you some other recent sales of completed copies. We have a July 1.0 selling for $9,234.
Yeah, exactly. You could get a complete copy for about the same price. I mean, even the all-time high for a 1.0 last year was $10K.
Although the book has gone up since 2020, it was averaging about $5,500 for a 1.0. We're still seeing about $10K per point. A 1.5 in March of this year hit $15,000. So I'm suspecting that someone may have indeed overpaid. I want to hear what the community thinks in the comment section below. Hit the like and subscribe button while you're down there. And Jem, hit him with the number 1 book on our list this week.
We've got the first appearance of Luke Cage from Hero for Hire, issue 1.
This book is impossibly tough in high grade, and we have a 9.8 that came to market, and there's been members waiting for years for an opportunity to snag one, because the last one that sold publicly was back in 2016 for $24,000.
Now, there could be spec potential here because we're getting Daredevil from the Netflix series into the MCU with an all-new storyline, but this is probably one of those coveted CGC 9.8s that a collector just had to have, and they really paid for it.
24K in 2016, we have an increase of 325%, breaking the $100,000 marker for the first time in comic history, landing at $102,000 for Luke Cage, the Power Man. Hot damn, comic fam. We appreciate your time today, as always.
Geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
Enough said. Join myself, Fire Guy, Ryan, Jem, Mint, and all my homies on the best new place to buy and sell collectibles. Vetted sellers that are doing auctions live that last as little as 15 seconds long. You know we on Whatnot every single week. Come join this growing community. We're having so much fun breaking out the keys, the giveaways, and so much more. We also have 2 other videos for you to check out. We made them for you. Have a great week.